Hey guys, Blackout here. Just give a quick thoughts on my beta phase 2. Played a little phase 1, but mostly phase 2. Kind of go over what each character, what I saw with them, what's different, what I think about the new characters. The three characters I played mostly were Ryu, Nash, and Ken. So those three I have the most experience with. But I saw the other characters played against me and whatnot. I jumped around with some of them in training mode. I'll be keeping this short because I'm going to go over every character and I don't want to go into too into depth because I'm going to be doing a tutorial series later. So yeah, that'll be for my more in-depth look at each character, but for now this will just be early stuff. And let's get started. Ryu is, I actually think he's really cool in this game. He's always been that, the main guy, everyone's based off of him, is, tweaked up or down because of him. Street Fighter V has the really cool, character specific stuff that makes him more interesting. I'll get to that in a sec, but for now, quickly to go over, he has all the Shoto good stuff. He has the low forward, the crouching fierce, the crouching roundhouse, all that stuff. The main things that are useful for him is standing strong is very good. It links into itself. It links into crouching fierce. I think it links to crouching roundhouse too. It's special super cancelable, so you're gonna see that poke a lot. It's low forward is his low forward. It's the Shoto low forward. It's super useful. Its crouching roundhouse it serves its purpose at the trip, but you gotta be very careful with it. It has an incredibly long. It's really disadvantaged on block. I don't know. It's something about in the game where you'll see a different animation if something whiffs or something gets blocked, and when he gets his roundhouse blocked, his leg sits out for at least it feels like a whole second. I actually blocked it and then dashed up and punished him, so be very careful with that. So stuff that makes him unique in this game is, from previous incarnations, was of course his V skill and his V trigger. His V skill is a parry. It's one of the only regular parries in this game, I believe. Most other people's parries are a preset follow-up, but he just parries and he goes neutral, and he can multi-parry. So this, I think, is one of those things that people have to take time to get used to, but it'll be very useful as time goes on. I don't think people parried that much in Third Strike or Street Fighter 2 at the start when it first came out. In Shanghai, when he won the tournament at SoCal Regionals, he didn't parry once, I don't think. But it's definitely one of those things that once you get used to it, you'll be doing it more. So that's cool. It makes him more interesting, and give the generic parry to the generic dude, I think is fine. That's cool. His V trigger is really cool too. He gets a lot of. Well, the first thing is this Hadouken, if you charge it, is unblockable. He gets Denjin all the time, which is cool. There's some setups with it right now. You'll see low forward into EX full charge while the opponent's staying there blocking, thinking something's going to come sooner. And you just put him in, you just break his guard. And with his solar plexus strike, he actually can follow up decently if he's close. And if they're far, you probably just throw a fireball. That's all you get, but it's a knockdown, so it's decent. People will figure out the traps with it better as time goes on, but top players hide their tech until they need it, and so people will probably bust out maybe once in a long set, but it'll work that one time and it'll be really effective. So yeah, I think it's cool. He's got the generic stuff because he's the bar, and but he also has cool other options like with Denjin stuff. You see a lot of cool stuff with him. That'd be really cool. Next we have Chun-Li. I didn't play her too much, and not a lot of people played her in general. I didn't really encounter any good players with her. Everyone who picked her kind of sucked. That's not to say she sucks. I just, it's the beta, not me. People are, could be, it could be anyone you're playing. She fulfills her role of a foot. She's never been a spectacular character, so she's always been more of a poke-based, counter-poke, footsie character. Moves in around with good walk speed and really good normals, and she fulfills that purpose as far as I can tell. Her V trigger kind of goes into that too, where she has multi-hit normals on everything and they all do damage, which is good because she's always had damage issues besides Third Strike, but she's pretty much always had damage issues because she's always been a poke-based character, and poke-based characters tend not to do a lot of damage. Now she can do a lot of damage off her pokes. And the multi-hitting stuff is weird because, you know, like let's say her jump, you know, what I'm thinking of is her jumping version. So normally, let's say Ryu jumps in at you with a roundhouse, and then you're gonna, after you block the roundhouse, you immediately crouch block because you expect a low attack, and he can't do anything else from the air, so there's no more overheads coming. With her, she has a lot of 2-hit punches that come in, and with her V trigger on, she'll probably hit 4 or 5 times in the air before she lands. So you have to hold the high block that whole time, and if you switch to low block too soon, she gets combos. She does full punish off you. So be careful of that. That's the main thing that I think is going to trick a lot of people. Her V skill, it's kind of weird. It's like a command jump. It's cool though. She has other ways to get on fireballs, but hopefully there'll be some cool ways to do to do things with this, get over fireballs and do more damage than just a Hazanshu, or you know, you can do combos off it, I believe, or if you hit them on the way up, she has some stomp combos off it. So that's cool. Like I said, not a really spectacular character, but people like her. She fulfills her purpose, so that's cool. Third, we have Nash. So Nash is pretty cool. He's probably my second favorite behind Ken, who I'll get into later. Nash plays kind of like a Shoto, but some key differences. He has more limitations on defense and has more tools on offense. So you have your good Shoto footsie tools. He has some really good command normals. His Torden Strong and Torden Forward are both hop moves, so they go over low attacks. And the Strong is overhead, which is really cool. But a lot of his stuff is one of the big differences is a lot of his normals are not cancelable, special cancelable, so you have to target combo or link them into other cancelable normals to do combos off of them. Because like his low forward is not cancelable, which is really weird. His Crouching Fierce is not cancelable. I dropped a lot of combos because of that, but you know, it takes to get used to. It'll be fine. So like I was saying, he lacks more defensive tools. He has pretty bad anti-airs. His main normal anti-airs is probably his Crouching Strong and his Crouching Fierce, and they go in front of him. He has a standing forward also, but they don't go above his head like their Shotos. And his EX Sonic Scythe is not very reliable as an anti-air. So, but he makes up for it with his the hopping upside down flash kick, and he has all those 2 hop command normals I mentioned. He has more target combos, and his V trigger is a teleport. So you can be very offensive. You can throw out unsafe moves and then teleport out of them, or you can cover and you can use a teleport to get in or to mix up people. So he's definitely like a very offensive Shoto with less options, but more offensive tools. So that's cool. He definitely lost some combo potential from the beta builds. From the earlier beta builds, he can't do the Li Joe combo that Li Joe used to kill Deus Ex. He can't do his EX Sonic Scythe, teleport, falling roundhouse, EX Sonic Scythe. He has to cut the roundhouse. But you know, he's still good, I think, and he still plays like he used to. So I'll definitely be liking him. I'll play him definitely as a ult or a second main or whatever. Next we have Bison. Bison apparently was considered the best character in the earlier builds. I think Justin Wong tore through E3 with him, pretty much. The biggest issue with him was he was pretty much, as far as I know, almost every one of his moves was safe, very safe. So what people would do with him was they would just never give you a chance to fight back, because everything you try to hit him with, he would hit you first, and then if you ever got on the back foot, he would just keep you pretty much in block stun, or if you ever tried to retaliate, he would be able to block because he was safe. So M. Bison was definitely really good. He may have been the best. He seems less safe now, though. I didn't play him that much because he came out with the beta phase when they started releasing beta phase 1 characters, but mostly I played beta phase 2, so he wasn't there for the whole time. But he definitely felt less safe. His scissor kick, I don't know if the guy I was playing with was using a heavy and medium versions, and those are unsafe, but the short version is still safe, like in 4. But I was punishing it constantly with jab, Sonic Scythe on Nash. It seems like they moved some of his power before. He was supposed to be really weak outside of V-Trigger, and then when he triggered, he was very powerful. But it looks like they kind of moved some stuff around, so now he's more balanced. He's less powerful in V-Trigger, but more powerful outside of it. So, you know, we'll see. He looks still an effective character. It's kind of cool the changes they do with him. He's not really about psycho crushing everywhere now, or moving around constantly. He has more striking combos. So, the guy I played against didn't use his Fire at all. That was his really good move in the earlier builds. I don't know how good it is now, but we'll see as people get better. Let's see, next, Cammy. Barely saw any Cammy players. I played her a little bit in Beta Phase 1, or played as against her. She's probably going to be more of a zippy around character, have a lot of mix-ups, but no one I played was good with her, so I can't really talk much about her. Birdie. Birdie was also, I didn't play him this Beta Phase, but I did play him Beta Phase 1. He's cool in that, this is the philosophy I like that Capcom is doing with this game, which is don't have any character have any horrendously bad matchups. At worst, maybe a 6-4, or 4-6, I guess it would be. But don't have any, Dolls or what is it? Sagat versus Zangief. Aside from Snake Eyes beating Sagat. Overall, the matchup's not very fun for Zangief's side. It kind of does a lot of guessing, and if you get in once, then you kind of just guess and hope you win. I think Birdie, what they did is they're taking the mentality of like Potemkin and Tagger from the Arc System games, Guilty Gear and BlazBlue, where they have options to get in. They're limited, as they should be, because you're still an archetype, and you should still have the weaknesses of that archetype. So if he's a big, slow grappler who's immobile, he shouldn't have the ability to zip around the screen and do whatever the hell he wants. But in this game, he has the ability to throw some projectiles, he has a jumping grab, and he has a lot of strike combos. And so I think that's really cool. I think Birdie will be really interesting to see. He's going to be throwing out stuff to kind of get you in block stun and keep you in place and then move at you so you can't just keep running away. And he hits hard. I remember I tried to chip him out with Nash, just out of habit. You can't chip people out anymore without super. And I had about half health left, and he killed me like 4 hits while V triggered. So that was really dumb on my part. But he hits hard, and I'm happy to see what they're doing with the grapplers in this game. It looks really cool, and he has a lot of the options that grapplers need in these games to be more interesting. So that's cool.